Assassin's Creed is back, and I'm really excited to break down all the new info we have on AC Mirage thanks to a gameplay trailer shown at the recent PlayStation showcase. So by the end of the video, you'll have a solid idea of what to expect in this new Assassin's Creed installment. And let's start with a release date, because we finally have confirmation that it will be available to play on Thursday, October the 12th on all consoles and the PC, including the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So it's not just a next-gen exclusive, as this game was originally planned to be a AC Valhalla DLC expansion, which has since morphed into this full game. The purpose being to fill this final fourth financial quarter for Ubisoft while we await the launch of Assassin's Creed Infinity and Japan next year. Now, with that release date, we also pick up some new visuals on the Prince of Persia inspired outfit that you may be interested in. This is only available if you do decide to pre-order, and at the time of recording, the current prices for Mirage is £45 and $49 and euros for the standard game, with the Deluxe edition coming in at £49 and $59 and 59 euros respectively. Now, in this Deluxe edition, you'll pick up the sand skin for Basim, your horse, and eagle, as well as the sand outfit, sand sword, and the very famous Dagger of Time, if you're familiar with the Prince of Persia series. You'll also pick up a digital art book, soundtrack, and the 40 Thieves pre-order quest, which is similar to the way of the Berserker quest that, if I remember correctly, in Valhalla was made available to everyone on Ubisoft Connect for 60 Ubisoft points after around 2 months or so since Valhalla's launch. So keep that in mind if you're considering pre-ordering just for the quest, as I imagine the same thing will occur here in Mirage. Now, Ubisoft has hinted at the dyeing of clothes as a returning mechanic in this game, which was sorely missed as an option in Valhalla, because in the description box for this pre-order video on YouTube, they mention an additional bonus of the outfit dye that is based on the Desert Sands Initiate of Alamut, which sounds really encouraging, as we used to be able to customize all of our assassin outfits with different colors in previous AC games. So it looks like we'll have that option again here in Mirage, which is good news. Now, with all of this new gameplay footage to break down, it's our first time seeing Baghdad and the surrounding areas. So let's talk about the map and exploration first, because the art director, Jean-Luc SALA, stated to GameSpot that the players can expect Mirage to be a bit larger in size compared to the earliest Assassin's Creed games, specifically to Brotherhood. And thanks to this infographic from Gataskostas on Reddit, you can see the size of the Brotherhood game map here. And let's compare that directly to the AC Unity map, as Jean-Luc SALA went on to state that Mirage's map will have the same density as Paris. So let's take everything from this Unity map and imagine it packed into this Brotherhood map, and that's essentially what they're saying Mirage is. Now, as for Baghdad specifically, there will be 4 districts in the game, each with different themes. So we'll have the industrial district to explore, as well as the district of knowledge, which will include the House of Wisdom, which was the biggest library of the time in the world, as well as the commercial district, which facilitates trade. And finally, the round city bang in the middle of the map, where we'll find the palace, which we can see clearly here from this awesome clip. Now, as for traveling, we'll be able to ride camels in this game, which we haven't been able to do since Origins, and we can also venture outside the city of Baghdad and explore its surroundings, according to Stefan Boudon, the creative director. But let's now move on to some combat details, because some of you will be pleased to know that this game takes a completely different approach to many of the RPG hack and slash elements in Valhalla, with Jean-Luc SALA stating to GameSpot again that Basim is definitely not Eivor, and if you are hit, you're going to really regret it, especially if you start fighting with some big chunky enemies, as you will die very fast. And that type of assassin-like gameplay can be seen here, where the famous and very old school counter roll animation seems to be returning quite a lot here, where if you were to hit the counter button correctly in the old games, and actually now I think of it, sometimes rarely in Valhalla, you'd perform this very nostalgic and awesome animation. It also seems that parrying will be playing an even more important role in this game due to the emphasis of such a small health meter, with Jean-Luc going on to state again that Basim is not a warrior who can safely tank hits and openly engage multiple enemies. And if we take a look at this clip here, we can see Basim parrying and then countering with a kick, which I think sums up the combat of this game quite nicely, because when we are in combat, the focus is to stall, disable, and give us time to run away and blend back into a crowd to then rethink our next move. So even though there will be hand-to-hand sword fights in this game, if you want it, don't expect to be taking 25 hits off a mythical dragon just like we could in Valhalla and then just shrug it off. We'll actually need to time our attacks, parries, and counters for a very deliberate and assassin-like feel in this AC Mirage game. Now, if you are enjoying the video so far, please do leave a very swift like down below. So thank you very much for your support. And good news, I'm also running an AC Mirage game giveaway. You just need to be a subscriber of the channel to enter, and the link is in the pinned comment. So very best of luck to you. Now, just like previous AC games, Mirage will focus on the Hidden Ones versus the Order of the Ancients, with this conflict being based around a specific historical event, with both sides feeding into this conflict. And because of the change of combat in this game compared to Valhalla, we'll have a variety of new enemies we'll need to defeat. A good example of this being at 1 minute 9 seconds into the gameplay trailer, we can see a heavily armored, big chunky enemy, as Jean-Luc Sala states, with a large sword and a face mask. But I want to bring your attention to his back, which is not armored at all. So I can only conclude that it will be nigh impossible for us to kill him from the front with our sword. So we'll need to be strategic in our combat choices to position ourselves behind him for a successful kill. Additionally, at 39 seconds in, we can also see some rooftop archers, which we haven't seen since Black Flag, with Stefan Boudon, the creative director, stating that we can use our eagle to mark enemies when in flight. But we'll need to be cautious, because if we get too close to these archers, they will be able to shoot down Enkidu, our eagle. So it is something to be very much aware of. I also want to bring your attention to this dude at 45 seconds into the gameplay trailer, and who also features in some of the recent official artwork. He's called Fulad, who is the Eagle Master to the Hidden Ones, and seems to be the guy who will be helping us complete some missions out of the 4 assassin bureaus in each of the 4 districts of Baghdad, as confirmed by Stefan. So expect to see him a lot throughout this game alongside Bassem's mentor Roshan. Now, one of the things I am most excited about in Mirage is the re-implementation of a notoriety system, as Stefan, the creative director, stated last year that you will have a wanted system available in the city, which is new, where if you're partaking in a foot chase, the crowd will recognize you if you are wanted. And the implementation of this system is because the team really wanted a simulation of an old Assassin's Creed game. And that's just it, because if you have played those old games, you know that if you killed certain targets in public or were caught stealing, for example, you'd then gain notoriety that would end up filling up the wanted meter and subsequently place the game's NPCs on alert to then seek you out and find you unless you made certain actions to reduce that wanted meter back down to 0, kind of like GTA in many respects. Now, some of the things you could do to reduce your wanted level was to bribe heralds, who were town criers of sorts, who would start singing your praises after receiving some of your gold. In fact, we know bribing is a mechanic in this game, as it's stated so in the trailer. So listen to this.
You could bribe the guards to look the other way.
And right at the start of the showcase, we can see a herald preaching in public, so that's solid confirmation from me there. Now, pickpocketing also returns here, established first in the AC1 games, of course, and back in the Ezio games, if you bribed a herald, your notoriety was lowered by 50%. But after that, you could then pickpocket the same herald to then retrieve your 500 florins to then get your money back with a very minimal notoriety penalty. So I do wonder if the devs will be including this in the game. Will be cool to see if they do. Now, as for weapons, it's clear Bassem is running with just a sword and dagger as the main offensive options when directly in combat. And with all of this emphasis on returning to the original AC mechanics with a modern RPG twist, of course, I wouldn't at all be surprised if the sword is our main damage dealing weapon, with the dagger being used purely for a parrying or more effective counter move compared to the sword. So in short, hidden blade for assassinations, sword for offensive combat, and dagger for defensive combat. That said, Stefan has confirmed that there will be an assortment of familiar tools available to us to enhance our gameplay choices in very specific situations. One of those tools being throwing knives, which return for discrete kills in and out of combat, which I don't believe we've seen in an AC game since Syndicate, which will also be upgradable in the game, allowing us to change them to fit our playstyle, with the same mechanics being applied to the smoke bomb tool, which I also believe we last saw in Origins. So I'm really pleased to see these stealth tools returning into general Assassin's Creed games, and the fact that we can upgrade them as well makes me even more excited excited to see how we can alter them in the game menu. Now, as for parkour and movement, Fabian Salomon, the production manager of Mirage, has stated that Basim's movements have been designed from scratch to express more about what a professional assassin is rather than what a Viking is, which will be music to some of your ears, I know, especially when Jean-Luc SALA, the game director, goes on to state that Basim is one of the fastest protagonists ever created in an Assassin's Creed game, with the pace of parkour being much faster than previous games, including Unity, so it will be very challenging to master. And that's because we have new parkour environmental challenges to engage us with, such as the pole vaulting maneuver, allowing us to traverse over large distances in Baghdad, as well as familiar parkour movements such as the corner swings around buildings, lifts, and bar swinging, which is really pleasing to see. Now, one thing some of you eagle-eyed assassins may have noticed is the cloth physics. It was a big criticism in Valhalla due to the cardboard physics of Eivor's clothing when moving, so it really is awesome to see these robes flowing like they did back in AC Unity. It just adds that extra bit of immersion, and I really do love to see it. Now, another quick detail here is at 33 seconds in, Basim can be seen running past civilians and pushing them away from him without falling to the ground like in previous games, emphasizing this flowing and very real parkour feeling in a city, and I just can't wait to try it out. Now, Assassinations, we got teased with a lot of visceral clips from them in action here, including a ledge assassination that looks like a new animation to me, as well as that iconic assassination maneuver with that famous Altair pose. But the one thing that really did steal the show for me is this brand new mechanic, and that's a new ability called Assassin Focus. Jean-Luc SALA states that Basim will be able to slow time, which represents his agility and efficiency to mark several targets at once, and then launch a series of assassinations or one-shot kills. And I kind of see this as an assassin take on the Deadeye ability in Red Dead Redemption, which is super cool to see, with Jean-Luc going on to say further that we can't activate it all the time, and we'll need to learn it firstly and then improve it as you progress through the game, meaning we'll only be able to kill 2 enemies to start with Jean-Luc stating that we'll eventually be able to upgrade it further to then kill several at once. So I reckon that will be around 5 or 6 enemies in total, which gives me that instant kill archer activation vibes from Brotherhood, and I'm all here for it because I used to absolutely love that ability in that game. I used to spam it all the time. Now, as for stealth, the detection system has been officially reworked from Valhalla, which is really great to hear and will allow players to see who is tracking us in terms of enemies and how far they are away in terms of meters. Now, Stefan Boudon, the creative director, has also officially stated that the team has been aiming for a stealth system more like Unity, where you blend automatically into crowds if there are 3 NPCs at a minimum in your direct vicinity. Now, this means that stealth is more difficult to master and less predictable, but it is a lot more immersive because of it, and we can see this directly in action from some of the gameplay that we've been shown so far. Incidentally, Fabian Salomon, the production manager, has also come out and said that there's a new quest system inspired by AC1 with a modern twist when operating in stealth, because we'll be able to see a new dynamic quest board pop up, which will allow us to investigate our targets before killing them, giving us more background info on them and perhaps finding out what assassin tools would be best to use or more effective to dispatch them quickly, which does sound excellent. Now, make sure you check out this video on your screen right now for even more AC Mirage details, and if I haven't uploaded it yet, now's a great time to subscribe so you know when it does go live, as I will be covering the game from start to finish, just like I did with AC Valhalla, where I made over 200 videos on that game. So I will be bringing you all the news, updates, and tips and tricks when it does release. Big thanks to Nika, my co-content creator, for helping me make the video. Cheers for stopping by, and of course, coffee is on me.